All right. So before we get started, I just wanted to say that from our last show, we talked about guinea pigs, and guinea pigs are from Peru. I just
Are they?
wanted to point that out.
Are they really? God damn it!
Yes, they are from Peru. They are from Peru.
So what part of Peru is Guinea? Like the question
South,
everyone is dying to know. What part of
right.
Peru is Guinea?
The south side of Peru.
South side. Correct. How foolish
Yeah.
of me. Oh
Fucking
man.
idiot.
Fucking
All
dude.
right.
Should know. Anyway.
Anyway, well, welcome back, everyone, to the Av Files. I'm your host, Av, as always. And what would the show be if I didn't have the real, not fake, Daniel of Arius and the Nation joining us today on our journey through another conspiracy theory full of mysteries and intrigue. And as always, more questions.
And
maybe.
And I would say most importantly, mostly enigmatic.
Mostly enigmatic.
Enigmatic.
Today you are the real deal, Daniel.
Yes, real deal, Daniel. Hashtag struggle. Hashtag blessed. Dude, it's always good to be here. It's always good to be in. It's always good to get this nonsensory tomfoolery.
Yes.
Off the chest. I mean, not really tomfoolery. This is tried and true podcastio material, and honestly, it's giving more people questions than answers, and that's in a time of uncertainty. That's what we need: more questions and
less answers.
Yeah, less answers. No one gives a shit about answers. No one has the attention span for answers.
Yeah, so that's why before we go any further, again, please make sure that follow, hit the subscribe button, share. Please leave a comment. I love the comments.
Yeah.
We always have. Yeah, with Allie's always.
Thanks, Allie.
Shout out to Allie. This show is for the both of you.
Yes, we do this.
Cheers.
For you guys, for the both of you.
So all four of us can listen to this later.
Yes. Oh man, this is why we're here.
Right.
So now that we have both of your attentions, why did we bring them here in the first place? No.
Right.
I was gonna say something. So while we're all four of us are here. Yeah. Damn it. Oh yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say. You were telling me this behind the scenes. Guys, listen, for right now, special discount code, get you that, hit that free subscribe button right now.
It is free 100%. It's our gift to you guys, to everybody.
Might be free for the next 24. might be free for the next 24 hours. We don't know. YouTube is a strange place.
Right.
So hit that subscribe button before it starts costing people.
Before it's too late, yeah.
Before it's prices,
yep. Yeah. This is a limited time offer.
Inflation. But that's our elevator pitch. So stories, guys, we're gonna bring you some stories from all over our little sphere and beyond, and
Buzz Lightyear.
beyond. And yeah, exactly. You know what? He was the right character to play Buzz Lightyear. You know that? Tim Allen. Mate, it just that voice.
I was like, who? Buzz Lightyear?
Yeah, Buzz Lightyear. Tim Allen. The other guy was Captain America. Didn't really nail it on the new one.
No, I thought that was a little too weird for me.
It was.
I watched it and I was like, nah.
Yeah.
I was like, just leave it.
Why do you have to F it up? Why do you have to F it up anyway?
Yeah, I didn't like it. I actually thought Tim Allen should have played Buzz Lightyear
in real life. No, for real. Like, yeah, I needed his voice because a voice doesn't really age. He could have had a gravelly voice. Look at Clint Eastwood. He looked 80 when he was 20.
But he's still making movies and he sounds the same.
Yeah. So
I think.
All right. Well, that's our.
The last one I saw was the Mule.
It was that good? I still haven't seen it yet.
It's okay. I really like Gran Torino better.
Oh, Gran Torino was a work of art.
I think that is such a funny ass movie.
It's a great movie. It's a great movie.
I don't know if it's supposed to be a comedy, but
his what was another one of my favorites of his is Heartbreak Ridge. I think that's what was.
Okay, yeah.
I believe so. I believe so. But not Hacksaw Ridge. Different. That's a Gibson movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so stories, podcast stuff, right?
Stories of the Av Files.
What?
Comes full circle.
Look,
all right.
Speaking of circle, guess what else is a circle? The moon. Good segue.
What?
What?
Is it a circle or is it a sphere?
It's a spherical. It's a spherical. It's a circle. One-dimensional circle. It's like a piece of paper.
Right, because I mean,
who knows?
Right. Who knows? But we're gonna try to figure it out.
Yep. So
like I was saying, in this episode, we will be talking about the moon landing and if it was staged or fake. There have been many questions, theories, and many different claims that people point to in this theory about this subject. The theory claims that the Apollo moon landing is or was a hoax. It suggests that the United States, specifically NASA, faked the moon landing in the late 1960s and early 1970s as part of a Cold War era propaganda effort to win the space race against the then Soviet Union. They're not the Soviet Union anymore.
No, we're talking about the good old CCR.
CCR. Yeah.
Is that what they are? No. CCR is a band. CCP. Yes.
It's one of those letters.
It looks kind of like a
CC.
R.
Fill in the blank.
Yeah. Hammer and sickle. Right,
yeah. CC Hammer and sickle.
No. CC,
in the
not a rapper.
No. In the 1960s and the 1970s, the primary objective of the Apollo program was to land astronauts on the moon and safely return them back to Earth. The Apollo program consisted of a total of 6 missions that successfully landed astronauts on the moon's surface. You had Apollo 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Apollo 13 never made it to the moon. Apollo 13 had an accident when one of the oxygen tanks exploded. This accident was made famous by the movie Apollo 13, starring Tom Hanks, Kevin Bacon. A couple other people were in there too.
Yeah, I think so.
In case nobody knew, if you didn't know that.
Yeah,
but no one died, and the astronauts did make it back to Earth safely. But Apollo 11 was the most famous because the astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin became the first humans to set foot on the lunar surface on July 20th, 1969. Or so they say.
Or so they say.
All right. Or did
Air
they?
Quotes. Air quotes.
Right.
Yeah. Man, a lot of stuff was happening during that time. Like if you look at the advancements that we had technologically in that short time span, that's the one thing that I give credence to. I know, like CCR, credence. I had to put that pun in. It doesn't make sense. How are we able to so fast come from behind and win the space race? Win. Like, right.
It's funny how in certain situations that we just happen to come up with something all of a sudden, like on the fly.
Yeah.
And, get to space first, I don't know, vaccines and stuff like that,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Just spitballing.
Just random coincidences.
Just saying.
Not at all linked. But I feel like it makes no sense where we were before the space race to like leap and bound ahead of people that were crushing it in that field. Like how How did we just come from all the way from behind? Like, talk about an underdog story. If that happened, if it happened the way they said it happened, we have never been that high speed ever again. We have never been that high speed or never or ever since.
Now, okay. Well, the one thing I will say is, uh, after World War II, we did get a lot of the German scientists, you know, and that was the thing too, because the Soviet Union grabbed a bunch of those scientists
Yep.
and doctors and all those engineers as well. So that's when it like kind of like really kicked into high gear, and it was like we're gonna try to get up there. And if you haven't, you should read Operation Paperclip, the book by Annie Jacobson. Awesome. That's
Oh
such a
yeah.
good book.
Oh,
Yes,
nice.
it's such a good book. I love that book. I think I've read it like twice, and I fucking hate reading.
Yeah. I like the October Sky. That's my reference. October
The
Sky
what?
about the West Virginia boys. West Virginia boys that loved like aerospace and stuff like that, and they studied under Werner von Braun.
Yeah, and
You
how
know,
and they cleared all his, oh, he's okay. He didn't.
he's fine.
They just swept
He was
everything under the rug.
he was a German soldier. You're like, don't you mean? Nope, we don't say that word. German soldier. And
He was
I'm just
more than that.
yeah. Well, my thing is like it was like the NFL draft once the war was over. It's like
Yeah,
him,
yeah.
not him. You know, and that's
Well, yeah. Again, they did clear a lot of their wrongdoings.
Yeah.
They just swept a lot of that stuff under the rug, and it was. I mean, they should have been prosecuted.
But then we wouldn't have made it to space.
And we would never made it to space,
and we wouldn't have guided missiles. I mean, like
we wouldn't have jets.
We wouldn't have jets. Like there's a lot of
stuff we wouldn't have.
There's a lot of stuff we wouldn't have.
Yeah. Could you imagine if we didn't, and they just took all those guys and threw them in jail?
That's my
far
thing.
Back technology wise we'd be.
Yeah, but at the same time, Russia was ready to scoop them up too. We knew Russia was going to grab them.
Well,
that's why we grabbed.
Well, that's why we grabbed them, right? Oh no, you're 100% right. But I'm saying, like, what if nobody grabbed them? They just took all of them, shoved them in. You know what I mean? Like,
it'd be one hell of a peaceful world, dude.
It'd be really, really different. I believe so. But at
the
same time,
bomb.
The way that the world is now, think of all the technology that we have now. I think a lot of that would. I mean, it'd be like the 90s. It'd be 2000 in the 2000s, and it'd be like 1990 with like the brick phones and everything.
But then, if you think about it, you go that far back, we probably wouldn't have had the nuclear bomb. That
probably not. Probably not.
And then, would that have put the first nuclear bomb explosion in our lifetime? Possibly. And that's terrifying too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, if we didn't, dude, there's a lot of weird things. Like if things just didn't happen.
Dude, have you ever seen that show, Man in the High Tower?
Butterfly, dude, that's actually pretty good.
That's
actually pretty good.
I mean,
good. I like the concept.
I like the concept. I stopped watching after they did that like flutter thing, and I was like, and I'm done. I'm like,
yeah, it's kind of like, okay. You're reaching now.
Okay, yeah, like okay, I get it. But that concept is very interesting, very like unique. I'm like, very, and very feasible. Very feasible.
No, I mean they did say he what was it? I think they said that he was supposed to have a treaty with Mexico. And had that gone through, we would have been fucked.
well, there was like a shitstorm around that. Like if he hadn't attacked Russia when he did, and Japan hadn't jumped the gun and like snuck attack us, we would be living in a completely different world. Just with those two things aside.
Yeah.
Like, well, no, I mean those two things. That's like complete takeover of Europe. If he didn't attack Russia.
Well, if Japan didn't attack us, because as soon as they were done doing it, they knew they messed up.
Yeah,
they knew right off the bat they messed up, because they're like, we should have just left them alone. Well, they did say, what is it?
We awoke the sleeping giant.
Yeah, the admiral said that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like iconic, but he was right. He's like, we just woke up with sleeping giant, and we killed everybody. Fuck them.
Yeah, that's what we fucking did. But but at the same time, space, right?
Space. Okay.
Space.
Okay.
So Russia took their Sputnik, right? That was their thing.
That was the first.
launched
That was the first unmanned object to go into space. Yes,
and
launched.
And we were so
successfully.
far behind them in that moment, like so far behind them to be able to catch up right away. It just makes you like, really? Did we though? I feel like we could now. Obviously, I feel like we bought ourselves some time to get real footage of the moon. I'm not saying we've never walked on the moon, but I'm saying that first time, did we? That's the question.
Did we?
So what else?
I don't know.
What you got?
So
right.
Yeah. So back to the moon landing, supposed moon landing. All right, and we know this by the pictures of the videos of the astronauts bouncing around on the moon surface. Some of the most iconic pictures are of the astronauts planting the American flag on the lunar surface, their lunar module, the experiments they performed on rock and soil samples, and of course, the iconic footprint left on the moon's surface, right? So those are like some of the, when people think of the moon landing, they think of those things, like you see the lunar module, you see the little buggy going around. They're like hopping around on the moon and stuff like that. Of course, the flag that supposedly still up there. I don't think there's any hurricanes on the moon, so it should still be up there.
Yeah. Is that Katrina? Katrina took it down.
Did it?
It hates astronauts. Everyone knows that. Odd, very odd to me. Hear me out on this. Can I go big conspiracy theory on this?
Yeah, of course. I mean, why not? I mean, that's what we're here for.
So let's say we didn't land on the moon. Let's say we didn't get the samples. Where the F did we get the samples from?
Okay, so they're actually and I didn't know if this was going to come up or not. So this is just one thing that I heard. I'm pretty sure you can Google this as well. That there's I think it was a scientist or somebody. Who did we present like a rock to? Supposedly we presented like a lunar rock to somebody, and come to find out it wasn't a lunar rock. It was like wood, or it was like a rock from Earth. It was here. And they just did it to I think impress them or something like that.
So a lot of people got paid off to say the right things.
Yeah.
Or did friends that we have here bring it with them? Friends from other, let's say,
dimensions
or galaxies, bring it with them.
Possibly.
Possibly. I'm just saying there's deeper, because something exists, right? Because this happened, we understand this, then that means XYZ is not possible. But what happens if that didn't exist? Well, then where did all this other stuff come from? It's not just okay, the lunar landing is fake. Okay, let's say it is fake. What about the scientists? How much were they paid? Were they paid? And if they weren't paid, where do we get the samples? That means we had to outsource. Then we know somebody that knows somebody that can get that shit.
Well, it could just be hey, you're a scientist and just look at this stuff and tell me what it is, and who knows what other.
Tell me that it's from the moon.
Right. Just say it, whatever, Yeah. Don't ask again, because if it's military, secondly military, and in military, you follow orders. You don't ask questions, you follow orders. No. They tell you to do something, you don't say why or how come, and you yes sir, and that's it.
Yeah.
You follow orders.
Yep. And it's just interesting because right now they're all kind of sort of dying and people kind of stopped caring. So a lot of things are coming out. And it's just but the biggest I feel like the biggest red flag is, where's our shit? It's not like tiny shit that we just left. It's not like all right, pack everything up and let's get out. There should be a shit ton of junk on the moon already.
Right. And you would think that, I mean, I don't know if you ever thought about it, but I thought about it. Like, I mean, there's meteors, there's rocks that flying around in space. I mean, supposedly is what they're saying. So none of this stuff ever like hit the moon. I guess not, because then you'd probably see it.
Yeah. Yeah, or not recently.
Right, not really. It definitely has, because if you look at the moon, you can see the craters all over the place. You can see
Yeah.
where meteors and stuff like that have impacted the moon, so you can see it.
And there could be massive meteor impacts on the moon, but on the dark side.
On dark, and because we can't see it.
We can't see it, and we don't monitor it. I don't think.
Well, and it's not like a planet, so it doesn't rotate. So you always see that when you
The
look
light
at the moon,
side.
you always see that, right?
Yeah.
The dark side is,
And that's why it's just interesting. Like, there's not a lot of information. Like, okay, we landed on the moon. Where? We put the flag up. Where?
Right. You would think that you'd be able to see it, because
it'd be
lot
a
of
flex, wouldn't it? It'd be a flex. Hey, get your powerful telescope. You can see our fucking flag. That is the biggest FU to planet Earth.
Everybody. That's I mean, to every other country.
Yeah.
Our flag is up there.
Yeah, and
up there?
Is it?
But that's what we're gonna kind of get into, right?
Yeah.
So now onto the theories as to why people don't believe we never landed on the moon. Conspiracy theorists often point to the American flag planted on the moon's surface during the Apollo 11 mission as evidence of a hoax. They say the flag appears to be waving in the wind, even though the moon has no atmosphere. But experts say that's because the flag has a horizontal rod placed along the top to make it look as if it is waving, when it's really not. It's just held in place by a rod. Some people point out that the flag seemed to be waving. Experts claim that was due to them twisting it while they were putting it into the lunar soil. So people were like, well, it looks like it's waving when they're sticking it in the ground. And it's not. It just looked like that, I guess, because then they were like twisting it around and getting it in there. I guess it looked like it was moving around. But again, too, when they were doing that, I'm like, how do you know that you were able just to stick it in the ground like that?
Yeah.
I mean,
the last thing we need is Jim to poke a hole in the moon.
Right. I mean, because we don't know what the moon is actually made of. Is it made of cheese?
I don't know. But you know what, though? I mean, the moon has gravity.
Speaking of cheese, I saw this video earlier. It was in New York. I think I sent it to you. But it was it was of this rat. And this rat was enormous. And I'm not talking about like it's a big rat.
Like Splinter?
If it stood up, it probably would have been about a good 3 feet tall. I'm not even kidding.
Out of here.
Dude, I am not even kidding.
Like
I saw
Princess
like that
fucking bride rat?
Yes.
No way. Oh no.
That thing is huge. I'm gonna have to send it. I'll find it and I'll send it to you. But yeah, it's creep. It's disgusting. It's creepy to look at, man. I hate rats.
Oh yeah. No,
like too. I've seen big rats. I've never seen a rat that big before, because that thing is like the size of it's literally the size of a cat.
That's crazy.
Or a small dog. It probably would eat a cat or a small dog.
Jesus.
I don't know what it's eating to get that big.
Trash.
I don't know what these. Yeah, but I mean, like, it's gotta. Anyway, it's fucking disgusting. It's gross.
So
gross. Moon.
So moon.
Moon.
Yeah. My thing is like things. So the moon has gravity, not a lot, but it does have gravity. So
I would assume so, because it does. It is. Well, I think it had. Well, let me see if I can remember this correctly. I think it has some gravity due to Earth.
Yeah.
Something like that, right? Something along those lines. I'm not a scientist.
Very, very believable. The way you say it.
I do not work for NASA.
Unbelievable.
Okay, look, I have to tell you the truth. I don't work for NASA.
Yeah. Wait a minute. There's a knock on my door. I gotta go. My thing is like, okay, so if there is gravity, anything that is above the surface should generate like some sort of downward force.
Well, okay. Again, because if they're jumping, they do come back down. Oh, I mean,
if not,
they're coming down.
Right.
And I mean, the little buggy was driving just
on it.
fine. Yeah. So there has to be some gravity on it.
So that would, to me, that is enough to substantiate the flag waving, because it's above the surface. There is a little bit of gravity.
Well,
There was movement.
but there's no atmosphere, which means there's no wind. So you're not going to have. It's not like here, like one day it's windy, some days it's not. So they said they put a rod in it to keep it open, because otherwise you would never see it. But then again, you don't see it from your telescope.
Yeah, but I feel like, wouldn't it be easy? Actually, no, never mind. You need a rod in it, so
If there's
it'll always
no,
stand up. Yeah.
right. So that's what they did. So when they were doing it, they were like twisting it. So if you watch the video, they were like twisting it and putting it in, and people were like, "Look, it's waving in the wind," but it's not waving in the wind because it has a rod. That's what they said.
Gotcha.
Okay? That's what they said. I'm just want to make it clear. Okay.
Okay, but I feel like that's like the weakest of the conspiracy theories. Like that's not
no,
really. That's not.
No. There's quite a few of them, and we're not going to get to all of them. But I mean, just we can take a deeper dive on a later episode, because there's a big one, and I kind of left that one out.
Was it the dead bodies?
It's the aliens. No, I did hear that Neil Armstrong said that he heard when they landed, they heard metal. It didn't sound like it was landing on
like a
surface
sound.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff, dude. There's a bunch of stuff.
No, it's
just interesting
how big it is. Not just like the lunar landing, but how ancient texts don't reference the moon. Like that's what you don't think about it, but you hear about that in like the craziness around this podcast, like the stuff that you listen to, right? Like, wait a minute, they're kind of sort of right. There is no ancient reference to the moon.
There's none,
and that's disconcerting, because there's a shit ton of references to the sun.
Right. Because they have to see the moon. If we can see the moon in the daytime, they'd have to see it, and that's obviously especially at night.
So
because they were guided by the stars a lot, right?
Not moon, not moon. No. Yeah. But then again, I mean, I guess if you're guided by the moon, you'd probably get mad lost because it fucking disappears.
Where'd it go? Maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't reference the moon for that reason.
Possibly, because a lot of our references, our navigation is
check that off the list. We figured it out.
Star-based.
Check it off the list.
Don't trust it. Don't trust it. It's silly. It disappears sometimes. It only comes in half, quarter. Don't trust it. Stars, those don't disappear.
Those don't disappear.
Yeah.
Or do they?
Or do they?
Because that's a good segue. Right. No, it's just somebody poked a hole in a black piece of paper. Those are the stars.
Yeah, here they are.
So
yeah. But sorry, man. I'll let you finish, because I like, dude, like you said, like you cracked the, like, this is huge. The moon is huge. There's all this shit around it.
Because there's a lot of questions, man. There's a lot of questions and no answers, no definitive answers, I believe. Yeah. Okay. And I know people are like, no, we landed on the moon. I'm like, okay, yeah, we did. But what if we did?
Well, the fact and this is a pun intended, there's no light shed on the dark side of the moon. Why? That's weird. It's not like, we don't have the technology to create lamps and shit. Like,
we have flashlights.
Yeah, we have direct energy weapons, but yet we can't light up the surface of the fucking moon. Like, I mean, but it's fine. We can set fire to Maui. Just don't light up don't light up the moon.
Right. Don't. We can set light to Hawaii, but we can't set light to the moon. Come on.
Or we don't want to. You know what I mean?
Maybe we don't. Maybe there's something up there that doesn't want us back up there.
And
I think that was in the agreement.
I that's what I heard. I was like, ooh, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I heard that too.
Lots and lots of sense. I was like, all right, fair enough. Like, but why would that be so? Like, to me, if people came back, like, listen, we went to the moon, and they don't want us back up there. Fair enough. Fair enough. You answered a lot of questions just with that. Hey, talk to them. We showed them like the flickering lights and we communicated somehow, and they don't want us back up there. Why is that a bad thing?
Well, don't you think that a lot of people would have like lost their shit if they come back and say, "Hey, you know what? I always thought it was pretty cool in Transformers when they went up there and they were like, okay, yeah, all right, now you got like 5 minutes to go to the dark side of the moon and figure out what that is." Is that what actually happened? It just wasn't a bunch of Transformers.
I don't know. I feel like there's so many questions that we have the technology to get answered. We have a fucking rover on Mars, apparently. Why can't we send one with headlights to the moon?
Dude, we literally have like a spaceship out in space circling the Earth 24/7.
Yeah.
And we can't shoot a rocket or something to go around the moon with a giant light to I don't maybe there is some technical reason why we can't land on that side. Well, I know it has to do with like
a signal.
Right, the signal. I forget what it's called, but yeah, because so if you land on that side, that's why they lost. What was it? I think they went around the moon and they lost radio signal for a certain amount of X amount of time because the signals would go like
the moon is like slingshot, right?
Yeah, they have to go around. The moon's like this, and the signal would go around it, and it couldn't get here, so they'd have to find some way to bounce it off. Some weird shit like that. I'm probably explaining it wrong, so I'm sorry.
But like, no, because you're right. It's like a solid wall. The signal can't go around something, so it goes past the edges of the moon, never around.
But you
would think in this time we would have a fucking system of satellites near it to bounce shit off, but
a bunch of satellites to go around. You know, who knows? But apparently we're not allowed to go to the moon.
Or apparently we're not allowed to ask questions or photograph that side of the moon,
or light it up. Yeah, something. But I mean, we're trying to ask questions. Hopefully, people hear this podcast. And
the right people, the right person,
right people.
Allie,
the right two people.
Allie, what do you think? Reach out to your connections.
But again, it's we didn't kill ourselves. I have to make that obvious. I want to make that point because I want to live.
Yep.
I want somebody coming after me. But
you guys will know it's serious when we start pushing Rumble.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, you guys will know that we've gotten reached out to when we start like, hey, you can find our podcast on Rumble.
Might have to.
We might have to.
Hopefully not. Because this is we're just asking questions. That's it.
Yeah. If anyone takes our word for shit, I'm so sorry.
Right, yeah.
Did you know in this podcast over here,
your bar is very low.
Very low. What this is like we're inviting you to ask questions with us. Never get answers. Just ask questions with us.
That's honestly just an open discussion.
Yeah.
And if we're wrong, whatever.
Yeah. And if we're right, fucking whatever.
Yeah, it's like okay.
yeah, pretty much, man.
Definitely not gonna shove that in anybody's face.
No. I told you. You're like no. It's. I mean, the moon could be anything. Could be. I mean, it's only like the size of a quarter if you hold it up in comparison.
Yeah, just put.
How do you land on something so small? That's impossible.
Yeah,
it's impossible.
Like, look, the moon's gone. I just put my thumb on it.
Boom! All powerful. You know what I mean?
I'm like Bruce Almighty.
Yeah. Oh man. That's. But I mean, that's. We, as society, like we advance so quick in that like Cold War time. We advance too quick.
I'll tell you what,
it makes no sense.
Cold War era was something else, man. It was actually pretty crazy. It was.
I couldn't imagine always waiting to get nuked. Like, hey, it's Monday. You might die today.
That was one of the. Actually, I think I told you before, where I used to live in Rockville, they actually used to have a siren, and
What?
I think it was twice a year they would test it out, and yeah, and it would hear it, meh, one of those big old sirens.
Like the guys
Yeah,
on top of the firehouse just
yeah, like cranking it. Yeah, and he's like
get
spinning around.
get to the subway. Like, or
Yeah,
what was it? Hide
get
under
under
your
the desk.
desk. Get under your desk.
Yeah. They took it out, but I do remember that. I do remember that they used to have one down in, where was it at? It was off of 355. I believe it was off of 355. Yeah, they had it. They had it there for a while.
Did we even have like nuclear bunkers? I don't think we did. We just had our desks and freezers.
Yeah,
and shit.
it wasn't anything like it wasn't anything like it is now.
Yeah.
I do remember it did kind of freak me out. I saw this movie, I forget what it was called, but it was like one of those made for TV movies about the United States getting nuked, and it was just, it was one of those where kind of reality sink in if you watched it. The nuke's coming, you have 2 minutes or something like that. No matter what you did, your car dies, everything, all the electronics stop, and it just blows up. And I mean, there's nothing you can do. No, you can't hide anywhere.
No, there's I think, what is it, like the quickest thing is like a freezer in like a restaurant. That's probably your best bet, like one of those commercial freezers. Right, but it's a goddamn nuke.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hey, listen, Indiana Jones survived a nuclear blast in a refrigerator. So,
I mean, hey, at that point, anything.
Yeah.
But the bad thing is you'd only have so much air.
True. Very true.
Depending on how many people are in there too. So it's get in there and hopefully you'll be able to open the door after it explodes.
Maybe after the building collapses around you.
Right, yeah. Or suffocate. Yeah.
But you'll have food and it'll be microwave. You know what? I read I saw a meme the other day. And it was funny. Like during the morbid but funny. During a nuclear attack, if a nuclear attack went off, you know that there's a bag of popcorn that's perfectly popped.
Shit.
Somewhere that exists. That's
right.
Anyway, it made me chuckle.
Good one.
Haha, yes. But yeah, man, moon.
All right, that's the moon. So yeah, let's get back to the moon real quick. So another theory is the lack of stars that don't appear in photographs and videos taken on the moon. It's said that if they had landed on the moon, then from all the pictures and videos, you should have been able to see the stars in the lunar sky while standing on the lunar surface. So where did all the stars go? This just fuels skeptics that we never made it to space. However, it's said that the absence of stars can be easily explained. It said the reason we don't see any stars in the lunar sky is due to the strong sunlight on the moon's surface, which made it difficult for the Apollo astronauts' cameras to capture both the brightly lit lunar landscape and the comparatively dim stars in the same exposure. Another one people bring up as well is that we in the United States didn't actually have the technology to get man to the moon in the 1960s and bring them back safely. They say we had technological limitations. We didn't have the computer power, our communication technology was limited, and our material science of the time was inadequate for such a mission at the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all great, but the star thing, that's pretty weak.
Does that sound like a reach? Does that sound like a reach?
That one is, because you take your photo, like you take your camera right now and take a picture of the night sky. Unless you have like a Samsung that zoomed in, you're going to get a blurry image of stars, right? You're not going to get a crisp anything. So amplify that with fucking reflected sunlight, right? Uh-huh. And then see how those stars come out. Like the star one is a reach. I wouldn't I wouldn't die on that hill.
Yeah, I kind of was when I was reading it, I was like, so the reason why we don't see the stars is because of the sun reflecting off the moon's surface, to which the camera couldn't capture the light from the stars.
Yeah, I
I
but
mean,
I
that sounds
well
weird.
well to me, that's more believable. Like I get it because just right now, I couldn't just go outside, take a picture of the stars, and have it crispy. It would be a pain in the ass. But you're out there with a supposed direct reflection of the sun on the surface.
So then, if I went out and took, okay, so you got the light from the stars, and then you have the
Mhm.
light from the sun that's shining down on you, bouncing off. I would assume that then wouldn't it just be a big white picture because there'd be so much light?
You would think so. I well remember because our shit's captured within our atmosphere and it bounces all around, right?
Right.
Um, but it'd be like kind of like taking a picture of the stars during the day. The stars don't disappear; they're still there. You just
They're
can't
still
see
there.
them because of the light and the reflections of the light against water
Right.
molecules in the atmosphere and all that shit. But
But,
even
but,
then,
right.
if I had like one of those job site work lights and you told me to take a picture of something in that room from the angle of, let's say, the light bounce or whatever, the reflective light, right? If I had a light, shown it on a table, dark room, take a picture of the back of the house or the room, whatever, it would be fucked up. It wouldn't be clear. I just don't think so. And I think the cameras that we were working with back then, they weren't the best. They weren't the best. If I had to play devil's advocate on that one specific hill.
Well, we have the alien technology to make all those awesome cameras. What are you talking about?
I feel like
Or they were German cameras.
probably
That'd been pretty
German,
good.
probably German. I
I mean,
feel like
I'm just thinking like, yeah, if you go outside during the daytime, you're not going to see it, but the stars are still there but it's daytime. So at
yeah.
night, you're in complete dark, right? And you're in space, you're in complete dark. The background is dark, and you have all the stars, and you're going to tell me that you
The
can't.
light
I
side
don't know.
of the moon. Well, the light side
Right
of the moon is a reflection of the sun, isn't
is a
it?
reflection of the sun. Yes, right. Because that's another thing. People think like, oh, the moon's glowing. No, it's the sun reflecting light off the moon. That's why
Yeah.
it glows.
I don't know, man. I feel like, dude,
I just think that's
that
a weird one.
it's interesting, but I just don't. I think there are much stronger arguments than capturing the stars. Like there's like the other ones that you brought up; those are stronger. Like if I was a moon landing debunker, I
Mhm.
wouldn't die on the hill of why aren't there stars in the pictures. I would say
Well, there's no
there's so
stars in the
many
pictures
more.
or the videos, so it's not
Yeah,
like so it's like they're moving around and they're saying that they don't see any stars in the background at all, even like a little bit. So,
well, at least it's consistent then.
right,
At
it is
least it's
consistent,
consistent. It'd be
right,
different if it was like one frame had stars, the other frame didn't, right? I just
correct,
there's other more compelling evidence than the stars in the frames because that could be. I mean, shit, dude. People have been thinking they've been taking pictures of Bigfoot, and that's just because of lighting, because of motion, because of like you know what I mean. I don't put a lot of
right,
trust in cameras. Period.
right. Well, yeah,
Period.
because I mean, you can't take pictures of Bigfoot. You
Yeah.
can't. It's a
No.
deer that's running through a bush, and you look at it, and
Or it's a
it's a
fucking
squatch,
Bigfoot that's moving too fast.
or it's a Bigfoot.
You know what I mean? Like it could be anything, and that's why I'm like, all right. Cameras, when leaned upon, have always let everyone down. Like when you
No,
when you absolutely need to take a clear picture, you won't be able to take a clear fucking
right,
picture.
right. No,
That's
and
just
I just find these interesting. I do find these very interesting, because it does make you think like, is it true? Could it be? And the hard part is, it's not like we can go to space and test it out.
no, but humans could. The government could easily put all of this shit to rest right
Right. But
now.
then why don't they?
Exactly.
See, they definitely have the budget for it.
Well, India went up I haven't really followed that, but India went up on the moon.
I heard something like that, and it's like, well, then we should be able to get to space.
Yeah, yeah. Or I wonder what they found. I wonder
But
what they
then,
found.
but did they go to the moon?
They probably were in California too, in the same studio.
But you know what? I wonder if we did go to the moon, could we see them now from space? From here. Like if we had a telescope, could we actually watch them? See, I think that would quiet a lot of people down if
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would.
you
Like
know,
you could
because we
track
have
that shit. We have the technology. You could put that shit on a 24-hour stream or 48-hour stream or whatever. Track this ball of light to get to the moon, and we have the technology to track that.
your phones. There's phones that can zoom in onto the moon, and you can
Mhm.
see it like pretty damn close, and take pictures and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming if you see like a little speck rolling around, you'll be able to tell that somebody's on the moon.
Yeah. I well, it would take all of the observatories, all of their time to make it work. And I know that observatories do not move their fucking telescope because
They're trying to cover the sky. They're
yeah,
watching out for shit.
and yeah, we don't want them to move their shit.
I think it's
I
something
don't
ridiculous to like move it. You know, I don't mean like time. I think it's money.
money. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
money and
it's like you want me to
loads
move it
of
a quarter,
yeah.
0.8 centimeters or whatever, this way or that way. It's like $5 billion is crazy shit
Yeah.
like that.
Well, I
It's
mean,
got to be.
if you think about it, like what are you looking at? What have you spent the last 70 years or more looking at? What have you just dedicated your life to? One little tiny section of space. To move it a quarter is a whole new section of space. You know? And that's yeah. But anyway, my God, man. Fucking moon, dude. Space, man. It's
Yeah, it's
just
crazy. So last space, the last frontier.
oh yeah, 100%, man.
So the last one. Now, the Van Allen radiation belt. Some theories claim that the moon landing would not have been possible because of the Van Allen belt. It's a region of charged particles surrounding the Earth that would have been deadly to the astronauts. Supposedly would have been deadly to the astronauts. They argue that NASA couldn't have safely passed through these belts. Yeah, so they're like, apparently there's this belt that's there, and we
Of
wouldn't able
radiation.
to of radiation that we wouldn't able to get past. To get, I think we had to pass it to. I don't know if you can go under or over it or anything like that. All right. But they're saying that we wouldn't be if we went through it. It would be all the astronauts would have died from like radiation poisoning, or they would have turned into the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was about to say that
Yeah,
too. I was like,
yeah.
fair enough,
So
fair enough.
yeah, they should take a girl up there with them so they can do that.
Yeah, Jessica Alba, 100%. She's still alive. Do it.
I mean, hey, wouldn't hurt.
There's so much unknown shit out there, that
Oh yeah,
we're learning in like hindsight or retrospect, or I don't put it past. We don't know. It hasn't been explored enough to know. Like,
no,
and hands down, I bet you a lot of our old astronauts, if they went up there, have been exposed to some shit that is wild. We just don't know the long-term effects of staying up there in space, right?
Yeah, well, that's what it is. When they come back, they do check them. What do they put them in isolation for a while to make sure they're okay and check the radiation? I think they do get some radiation going up there.
Yeah, there's no buffer. There's no atmosphere to buffer them, so it's like direct radiation.
Yeah,
But
so I don't know how well those suits protect them either.
Yeah. Also, they are always taller when they come back.
Aren't they older as well, or are they younger? I can't remember. It's one of the two, right?
I think it's younger. Has to be younger. Has to be younger. I don't know. I just feel like they're taller because of gravity.
Right. Yeah, they say you can't stay out there that long because it like messes you up physically. has something to do with. Yeah, I think it is like with your limbs or something like. I don't know. I forget what
Yeah,
it's.
because it's like there's
Should have
nothing
been better
holding you
prepared for that one.
together. It's nothing
Yeah,
holding you together. You're just kind of
right.
floating out.
You're just floating all over the place, and yeah, it's kind of. I think they
Well, I
have to
mean,
get readjusted to gravity on Earth. So
well, yeah, because I mean, blood flow and all that kind of shit. If you're just floating,
well, we're
you
not
know,
supposed to be in
like
space.
you're not
We're not
supposed to
supposed to
be
be
in
in space
space.
anyway.
Not yet, at least.
Not
Not
yet.
yet.
But I mean, I think it's going to happen.
Yeah,
I mean, I
it's
could
it's
see
bound it's bound to happen. Have you ever seen? Oh my God, what's the fucking?
Star
There's a
Wars.
movie. No, not Star Wars. It's like God damn it! It's like this. It to me it was like this indie film with.
Battlestar Galactica.
No, it's more recent than that. It's fuck. I'm trying to think of it. It's the Valerian, something like that. Um, so basically, it's about the story of the ever evolving space station. How we kept adding on and adding on and adding on and adding on, and eventually aliens came. They added on, and everyone, it became its own
Oh
like
wow, really?
entity. It got
Wow.
so big, it became its own like thing, right? And
So it started thinking.
it started, well, yeah, because different aliens brought different tech, and it just like kept growing into this the
So it's like
space
Skynet.
station. Yeah,
It
it's like
became like a
Skynet.
permanent, almost. Like, oh man,
And so
crazy.
that it makes me think it's like eventually I think that might be a course,
Happen.
or we could just all get fucking destroyed. So it's either an amazing outcome or a terrible outcome. Nothing in the middle.
Well, I believe like I feel like the human race is a race where we want to live, we want to survive, and we're
Yeah.
going to find a way to try to. I mean, doom and gloom here, but eventually an asteroid is going to hit us again at some
Yep.
time, or something's going to happen. The sun's going to somebody's
Explode.
going to blow the light out on the it's like a candle.
Yep.
It's going to blow,
Yep.
and we're going to all freeze to death. So we're going to want to live, and we're going to want to go to another planet,
Yeah.
try to survive.
Well, we
So
are like I feel like we are the apex aliens. You know what I mean? Like we're
mhm.
parasitic. We took over the fucking planet. The
Yeah.
only thing we leave behind is nothing good. It's all like waste. So
I feel like if when we do start to go and branch out to other planets and stuff like that, I think that's when the whole galactic empire and all that other stuff's going to come and be like, yeah, you guys can't do that. You guys got to stay on
yeah,
the planet.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You
That's when
you
we
don't
get
belong
checked.
on this side
Once
of
we're
the
ready,
galaxy.
once we're ready to leave, that's when they come. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, you guys can't. This is your
You guys
planet.
got to
Stay here.
yeah. Know your
Um,
place, humans.
yeah, right. But yeah, man, no, it's pretty. There's so many questions that can be so easily debunked, or not really easily. I mean, it's gonna cost a effing fortune, but
Right.
that can be debunked
It
and
can be
put the
told.
whole world at peace
No.
on that
You know
one
what?
subject.
That's true. That's true. It could be put everybody's mind at ease. Like, did we really get to the moon? Just tell us.
But
And then we can get there.
what happens is the amount of stories and cover-ups and stuff keeps us divided, keeps everyone talking, keeps people in camps, and you know what I mean. Like it it's just another way for them to get into our heads and stop us from unifying. Because it'd be
Keep
different.
us
It'd
in
be like,
line.
oh yeah, it'd be like, hey, look, let them keep fighting about this stupid shit. Like
It's keeping us separated, but at the same time keeping us all in line.
yeah, yeah. Like there are things that we don't know, and the moon is one of
Oh
those.
yeah,
Even though we're supposed to
definitely.
know it. So I don't know, man.
No, and I tell you what, again, this conspiracy theory, there's more to it. I'm just not going into it right now, but if anybody wants to know more about it, just leave a comment and let us know. I'll take a deeper dive into it. We can do a part 2 to this. There definitely is enough
we need
for
to.
part 2.
We need to do a part 2.
Yeah.
One does not
the big
simply unpack the moon in an hour.
No,
because I can't believe it's been an hour.
It's been an hour. Yeah. I mean,
oh my God. We're going to have to save my story for the effing next one. Oh man.
I guess we'll have to wait.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like I said, I feel like the moon in and of itself is worth like a part in a series. Unpacking the moon part 1. This is the
Part
intro
one.
video. The intro. And then we could,
So
because each one of those like little like conspiracy theories has its own
yeah,
video dedicated.
yeah.
Pretty much.
So tell me, ladies, what do you think?
Yeah. All 2 of you listening out there. I think it's mad interesting. I think there's always going to be more questions than answers, such as life, such as our podcast.
Such as the podcast, man. Maybe we should change it to more questions and answers. I don't know.
More questions than answers. Put that shit on a shirt.
Oh, that's definitely going on a shirt. Trademark that, by the way.
Yeah, happened here first. But I feel like there's so many things that we could easily, and hear me out on this. As a human species, if we rallied together, we could answer. There's no way we're rallying to get to a bottom of a question. We are the ones that have to know first for some stupid ass reason. And like, when's the last time we did something for humanity's sake? You know what I mean?
Armageddon.
Never. Yeah. Bruce Willis. Thank God. He still should have let Ben Affleck die. God damn it.
Yeah, I think so. I've been like, you know what? Take one for the team.
Yeah.
Sorry. My daughter can find a new boyfriend. That's fine.
Yeah, my daughter. Yeah. You're replaceable. I'm goddamn Bruce Willis.
Yeah, I'm Bruce Willis. There's no way. I'm John McClane.
John McClane, exactly. Oh man, I don't know, man. Like, great points, like massive points. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you guys got to stay tuned for the next part of this, and also what I have to bring to the table, because we are chipping away.
I didn't realize it was going to take this long.
We're chipping away big ass icebergs on this. That's for damn sure.
This one took longer than I thought, and that's fine.
Well, I mean, it's the fucking moon, dude. You know what I mean? Like, it's not simple. It's like there's so many fucking things.
Well, I thought like, oh man, if I do 2 points, I don't know if it's gonna be long enough. I just went ahead. I said, let me do 3. And I just did them real quick, and
I think each one of those points is an episode.
But you know
especially when you're talking.
We're not half-assing it here, man. We're doing it. We're going all the way. So if it turned into an hour, so be it.
Yeah, that's what I love about this. It's like it's very fluid, which would have been a great segue to my next story. But you guys are just going to have to stay tuned to that.
So please tell us about it. What happened? And just cut it off.
Yeah. Oh well, actually, and then just blip and scene.
Right. Yeah.
But no, I feel like we are just kind of like scratching the surface of like series on this podcast. You know what I mean? Like, holy crap. Because the moon stuff is so intriguing to me. Because it's so attainable. Like, we can go out and get that shit if we wanted to.
Well, it's something that everybody on this planet can see.
Yes.
And this planet is round.
Yes.
It's a sphere.
Yes, guys.
Spent
so long.
Right. That doesn't mean that there's dinosaurs hiding in the middle of it, but.
Or are there? Brendan Fraser and The Rock and what's his name? Will Ferrell found dinosaurs in the middle.
That's true. Right. Yeah. Could be the reptilians in down there too.
100%. Lizard people.
The lizard people. Show us the lizard people.
The lizard people. Oh man. But no, man, this was good, man. This was really good. I think this is going to be a part 1, man. I don't think it's going to be a part 1. I think this is going to be an intro video.
Technically, it is part 1 because I'm going to have to come back and do another one.
All the rest.
Yeah, because there's like I said, there's quite a bit.
So many. But anyway, no, hey, thanks for bringing this. Dude. Massive effing podcast subject.
Yeah, it is. It's intriguing. I mean, it's you probably could take one subject and go, talk about it for about a good half an hour, 45 minutes, and then well,
I'll put it this way: it didn't feel like it was beaten to death. You know what I mean? Like there's because you could go so many different ways with each question, and each one of those questions poses its own episode.
And I feel like nobody is wrong whichever way you want to go. I mean, because it's
the people that know exactly what
happened
happened are dead. So, you know, like or they're unalived, or they unalive themselves. You know what I mean? Or they tragically fell into a bathtub with a toaster. You know what I mean?
Or they tripped over the dog and stumbled out of the 20-story window and fell to their death.
No. Or like, don't you hate when you take a shower and accidentally your head pops off? Love those.
Yeah,
love those. Oh man, but no, there's so many questions, and I'm here for all of them. I think this is the start of a very epic deep dive.
I think so.
I think so too, man. But we'll leave everyone on a cliffhanger. That's for damn sure. Leave everyone on a cliffhanger for more.
We should just end it just like that. Just
yeah. Stay tuned for Stay tuned for part 5. What happened to part 2? Like, no.
Yeah, where's the rest of it? Like, you gotta look for it.
Oh, you gotta find it. It's out there. Just number it different. Oh God.
So anyway. Yeah. So actually, speaking of that, to get on that real quick, in case some of you wondered, why are you guys on like episode 24 and like 23? And it's like we started off on Spotify first, and we numbered them that way, and then we jumped on here. So if you want to hear some of the first episodes, they're on Spotify. That's why we say join us on Spotify. And we started here on YouTube after. So
like
I apologize.
After.
Yeah. So
where's the continuity?
Right. So I apologize for that, but I'm not gonna go back and change
it. Don't change it.
So it's yeah.
It's a cliffhanger.
We're heading out. So yeah. Tuesday. No, I'm sorry. Mondays, YouTube. Wednesdays, Spotify. Same episode. If you want to hear, watch it. If you want to listen to it while you're driving, go to Spotify. Yep. You want to watch it on YouTube and help support us.
I do listen. Let me put it this way. I do like Spotify because I can turn the screen off and listen.
Right, exactly.
That's the superpower of Spotify.
Right. That's what I said. You want to drive and listen to it? Spotify. Do it.
Yep.
Do it.
Yep.
And actually, it's not on YouTube. We weren't able. I had a hard time loading. I had an issue. But the Hatman interview is on Spotify.
Boom. Exclusively
on Spotify.
Man.
So, but thank you all for joining us.
Yes.
Please, again, as a reminder, subscribe, share, tell your friends, family, whatever. Every little bit helps keep us going. You enjoying it? Help support the channel. Every little bit helps. And everything that we get goes back into the channel.
100%.
Everything goes back into the channel.
No.
So we can get better green screens.
Oh, what? Yeah. Well, you have a green screen?
It's actually my background.
It blends into the forest. It blends into the forest, honestly. It really does. It's like the perfect shade. Like you need to take a screenshot of this and paint black marks like right in certain areas and then just blend in.
Oh yeah, that would actually blend in really good, wouldn't it?
It really would. But
would suck if I changed the background though.
It never
I'd have like a bunch of black marks on it.
Oh man. But no, man. Hey, thanks for having me back on the podcast.
No problem.
This is always fun.
Hey, it's fun. It's fun having you on there. Good times.
Yeah,
good times.
Always.
Thanks for joining us, Daniel of Areas in the Nation. Don't forget to go follow him. Listen to his podcast as well.
Always.
Killer stuff over there.
Yeah.
Thanks again, everybody, for joining us. I'm your host, Ev, and until next time, we'll see you there. Peace.